This show is brought to you by Victor Nawrocki Realtor, experienced real estate agent serving Disney and the greater Orlando area of celebratingflorida.com. Have you ever dreamed of living where the magic happens? Victor Nawrocki has made that dream come true for himself and others. One of the biggest decisions you'll make when considering a move is selecting a realtor who can successfully match you with the right home in the right location at the right price. If you're looking to buy or sell in the Orlando area, here's why Victor is the realtor you'll want in your corner. Victor knows the Disney area like the back of his house. By creating a free, no-obligation account on his website, celebratingflorida.com, you'll unlock the website's full potential and be able to enter specific criteria, save listings, and browse new properties sent to your email. Is it time to follow your dream? Victor is looking forward to helping you discover the real estate opportunities that are right for you in this beautiful and fun-filled part of Florida. Visit celebratingflorida.com today or view Victor's view at victorsvista.com and let Victor know the Solo Show sent you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our final boarding call and the doors will be closing soon. Please board quickly and safely. Please stand clear of the doors. Thank you.
Broadcasting from the Solo Studios, a journey that begins where everything ends. Here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, the center of North America, on this little planet we call Earth, this is the Solo Show. On this adventure, Stan welcomes Ray Kastner to the guest host chair to talk about Ray's recent trip to Disney. Food, fun, and a few laughs are all coming up. So now, please welcome your host, the man who auditioned for the role of Bob in The Black Hole, but didn't like flying around on wires. Here's Stan Solo.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Solo Show. I am Stan Solo as always, and I think this is my very first repeat guest. When we started the Solo Show,
except for the Newlywed Game, the nearly Newlywed Game, I think, it might be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right, Chris. So were you on the Newlywed Game?
No, but those were all repeats, weren't they?
Yeah, but that was a special edition. I'm talking one-on-one.
So this one counts.
Yeah, you're my very first one-on-one repeat guest. And when I started the Solo Show, I said no repeat guests for the first year, but Ray talked me into it. I got Ray Kastner, and he was on show number 17. We were talking Disney Plus during show number 17, but we're not doing Disney Plus today. Trying to continue going with the COVID response, but the COVID series, I guess I'm going to call them, or the Corona series, going park by park. We're doing something different today. Ray's going on a trip. He has a trip booked for Walt Disney World, and I guess you're going to be my first person I'm going to be talking to going to all the parks.
Yes.
I've been doing park by park, so we're going to do something a little bit different. But he's not going for a while yet. When are you going, Ray? And hey, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome back.
Thanks for having me back.
When are you going to the show? When are you going to Walt Disney World?
We'll be there from September 8th through and leaving on the 16th.
So September 8th to the 16th. And are you flying or are you driving? How are you getting there?
We're driving.
Okay. Good idea. How long of that drive is that?
It's about 1,300 miles. We'll probably do it. We'll probably stop twice, and then the last day will just be like a couple hour drive. We'll get up in the morning.
2 nights on the road?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not. I'm sorry. So you're driving from Wisconsin. I didn't realize Wisconsin was that far.
We have done it in one stop. But then the drive to Walt Disney World from when we stopped is sometimes it's like 6 hours.
Yeah. Okay. So, and your whole family going? Just you and your wife?
There'll be 5 of us.
Sorry, I missed it.
There'll be 5 of us, including myself.
Oh, okay. So the whole family's going. Yeah. So financially speaking, it makes a lot of sense to do this for sure versus getting, 5 plane tickets. And your DVC are at Old Key West. Are you staying DVC or what?
Yes, we're staying at Old Key West.
Oh, nice. Old Key West. I've only visited that resort once.
That's our home resort. It's nice.
Beautiful. It's huge, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's nice. You don't have to, with our car, we don't have to, it used to be when we went down there and we would busing it. It was like, well, we were very particular on where we wanted to stay because we wanted to be near a bus stop. We wanted to be fairly close to the main building. So if we wanted to go to the gift shop or the restaurant there, we could just walk. But now with a car, it's just like, we can go anywhere.
Yeah. You know what I'm curious about with DVC members? So your room gets like a coffee maker, a toaster, a full stove. A lot of them have dishwashers. Do you use any of that stuff, or do you eat out the whole time? You make
refrigerator, and occasionally we use the refrigerator, and we use the washer dryer, but we don't cook it. And we just like the extra room.
Yeah.
And when we get a 2-bedroom, it's really nice when there's 5 of us and we get a 2-bedroom because we get 2 bedrooms.
Right. Yeah.
That's really
sure, especially with 5 of you. Jeez, I can't picture one bathroom with 5 people. I don't know, man. But yeah, because I always wonder about that, because you always see they got the full size stove and oven, and like, who's making pizza and lasagna or chicken cordon bleu or whatever it is that you want. I can see bacon and eggs.
I've heard some people do. We don't.
Yeah, you don't pick up some bacon and some eggs or Spam, fry it up in the morning.
No,
I could go for that maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't go back and make a big meal. I don't know. So you're going 8 to the 16th. Are you a little bit okay? So the coronavirus is among us. It's with us. Florida's not, the most lowest numbers in the world. Let's face it. Are you nervous about this at all?
No, not really. I mean, we're a little nervous. We're more concerned about the conditions of the hotels on our way down and back than we are when we get down there. Once we get there, I think I'm going to feel safer than what I do going to my grocery store.
That's what I hear. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing from everybody, that they feel very safe at Disney. But yeah, those trips down, and even going to the gas stations, and I'll take care of yourself, man. Put on rubber gloves or Perel before and after you use the gas pump. Or
I do that now.
yeah. It's a scary world we live in. So yeah, so I don't know if I'd be nervous or not. I don't have to make the decision, so I'm not worried about it. But
yeah, you can't even leave the country.
No, I can't. I can hardly even leave the province. I can only go west. I can't even go east. So we're still quarantined here. Is there anything you're going to be trying new, other than wearing a mask all day, that you haven't tried before? Any special dining plans you're planning on doing?
Well, we want to make sure we're looking forward to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and none of us have been to the parks since Rise of the Resistance has been open. We've only done Smuggler's Run, and that was at Disneyland last year at the Expo.
Okay.
So we haven't done either of those two. So we're looking forward to that. Dining, we're going to go back to be our guests. We haven't been there in a few years, mainly because we haven't been able to get in.
Okay.
And then we're doing Tutto Italia at Epcot, mainly because, we had a Le Cellier reservation, but we had it after 7:00, and then when they changed their hours, we lost the reservation and couldn't get another Le Cellier reservation.
Are you serious for this trip coming up?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I guess they're
spacing. They sent us and told us that our reservation got canceled. I immediately went looking for another reservation, and there was nothing to be had at Le Cellier for dinner that night.
Wow, that's hard to believe. It is a very small restaurant.
It's a small one, and I'm sure it's even smaller now.
Yeah. There isn't much room in there. They must be really spacing people well, man.
And then we're gonna spend a day at Disney Springs, so we're gonna eat at the Boathouse and
nice.
Chef Smith's Homecoming. So we haven't eaten either one of those. So other than that, it's just stuff we've been doing before.
Yeah, Chef Smith. And I guess you're looking forward to having, half-empty parks and...
Oh, yeah. We're seeing the videos and going like, geez, I hope it stays that way.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm curious about. This is why I wanted you to be on the show, mostly, because I want to find out what is it like several months after opening, because this is going to be September, the first week of September you're going. So I'm really curious to see...
And this was a rebooked trip. This was a rebooked trip. We were supposed to go the week they opened.
Okay.
And the day before they made the announcement, my wife and I decided, even if they open up, let's let them get their act together and get everything settled. And so we moved it the day before they made the announcement, because we would have been there. If we would have gone when we normally gone, we would have had 2 days where we might have been able to get previews, but basically couldn't have gone anywhere. And then 4 days where we would have had only Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom.
Right.
And then the day we were leaving was the day they were opening up Epcot in the studios.
Right. So, yeah. Let someone else.
Yeah.
And you know what? And I think they're less crowded now than they were then, from what I could tell. But it seems like they're allowing more people, so it doesn't make sense. I'm not sure. I think all the vloggers were there that first go. Maybe that's what it was. But or maybe because they have more parks open. I don't know. It feels like when I watch the videos, there's less people now than there was that first opening week. So you probably made a very smart move. And,
we hope so.
How is I'm not really I'm following it, but I'm not like really following. I'm sure you are. How is it working for Rise of Resistance now? Do they still have 3 times?
No, now they're down to 2. I think it's 10 and 2 o'clock.
10 and 2. Okay, that makes sense because they're going to be closing earlier starting September 2, aren't they?
Yeah, starting September 8th, they're basically closing all the parks about an hour earlier than what they were, an hour or two. The only one that's really a drastic change is Epcot was supposed to stay open until 9, and now they're closing at 7.
Wow, that's really early. So are you going to be doing...
We have like a 7:15 reservation at Le Cellier, and they go, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so you're going to be doing rope drop to closing every day, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Not taking a hotel break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you normally take a break midday or no?
Sometimes, but not often.
Yeah.
I mean, usually we just, even when we go during the summertime, we just take the afternoon super slow and do a lot of this like indoor stuff. And I mean, I don't have little kids anymore, so going back in the middle of the day for a nap isn't a big deal, other than us older adults need a nap.
I was going to say, in a few years, you're going to be wanting to go back for a nap again. Well, Ray, I'm kind of jealous. I wish I could go, but I'm looking forward to hearing about your trip report. We're going to take a short break, hear from our latest sponsor, and Ray has to go pack. He has to load up the car with all his entire house and head out to Walt Disney World. When he comes back, we'll be back, and we'll talk about how it went. See you in a bit.
Okay.
You gotta wear them wherever you go nowadays. Let's face it, you're chewing on them while waiting in line anyway, so they might as well taste good. New from the makers of Edible Mouse Ears comes Edible Face Masks. In 5 different flavors: strawberry, chocolate, mint banana, bacon double cheeseburger, and the ever-popular Dragonfly Ripple. Never throw away your used mask, not when you can just use it for a quick nosh. They are a tasty part of a nutritious breakfast. Get your Edible Face Mask today.
And we're back. Wow, that was quick. It seemed like we just had it.
Back to the future.
Yeah, no kidding. Ray's back from his trip. Ray, how was your trip?
It was great. We loved it.
Oh, good to hear.
That, with everything going on, we needed it.
Oh, I need something now, I tell you. This is a rough patch I'm going through right now. But anyways, so Ray's back. So let's kind of do a trip report, see how everything went. So you left home and you had 2-night stays at hotels on your way. You drove.
Yeah.
So where did you stay?
Our first stop was just south of Nashville and Murfreesboro. That hotel wasn't bad. That was pretty good. Then we stopped at Lake City, Florida, which is just over the Florida-Georgia border. The hotel had not been updated, and it could have been cleaner. It was okay on the surface. It's just that, you walk around in socks, and after 10 minutes, your socks are like
covered in COVID.
Yeah. I mean, well, my wife went in and we had Clorox wipes, and we just wiped everything down anyway. So we weren't taking any chances with that, but it was just like, okay, we'll remember this hotel and pick somewhere else.
You didn't stay at the same place on the way home, I hope.
No.
Okay.
On the way back, we did it at just one stop on the way back, and we did in Clarksville, Tennessee, and that was okay.
Okay. So you got to take the Clorox wipes these days when you're visiting a hotel.
I know.
And wipe down that remote, and if you're going to use the telephone and the coffee pot handle and the tap,
everything,
the showers and everything. It's a different world we live in, people. So the first hotel was okay. The second one, not so much. Then you check into the Old Key West.
Yes.
How was the check-in process?
Well, we checked in online, and when we originally made the reservation we were originally going to go in July, and we just moved it to September. We had made a building request, and when we redid the reservation, I told them to cancel that building request and put in new ones because we just wanted to be in different spots, and they still had the first one on, so they were holding our room to get cleaned because they were still going based on our first request, and we didn't really care about whether we needed that one or not. Yeah. So it said, well, we can do any of these other ones because we had a car. We can be anywhere. We don't have to be close to a bus stop or near the main building or where we check in or anything like that. Then all of a sudden, and we're like, because we just walked in there and we said, well, we didn't get a text message, but is there a room available? And they went through the whole thing, and then they found one for us. So we didn't even bother dealing with Bell Services. We just took everything we had, went to where we were, dumped everything off, and went to Epcot.
Nice. So check-in was pretty.
Check-in was good.
That's good. Did you notice anything different about the room from previous trips?
The remote was in a plastic bag, and with anything that was in a plastic bag, it was marked as cleaned. And so, I mean, the place was spotless when we went. Typically they are, but yeah, anything that was questionable as far as whether people touching, because the remotes are always things that are like, if you read anything, the remote is like one of the dirtiest things ever. And so they cleaned it, and it was in a plastic bag, and so.
Or they just put it in a plastic bag instead. It was clean. Yeah. I'm sure Disney does its due diligence and actually cleans it and whatnot. Was Stacy on the must do's? Do you watch Stacy normally when I get in? I watch Stacy all the time.
She was on some channel, but we didn't stick around and watch it too much, so I don't know if it was a must-dos, but everybody's saying that she isn't on the must-dos, but she was on some channel doing something. Okay. I remember flipping through the channels and running into her a couple times, so she's on something on their channels, but I don't remember which one it was.
Okay, so you're not like me. That's something that you look forward to every trip.
She pretty much records them every few years. So maybe if you've seen them, they're pretty much the same ones, and so it's like
okay. Because I'm curious to see if the people have masks on the new version, or if there's a new version.
We didn't watch too many of those things, so I think they're redoing. I've heard that they're redoing a bunch of them, so with people with masks on. So I don't know. Didn't really watch too many of them on this trip. So
okay,
can't really say.
Yeah. So you went to Epcot. You drive there, or you take the bus?
Oh, we always drive. We drive to everywhere. Because at OQ, especially for OQ West, if you're going from OQ West to Epcot or the studios, you can get there like in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's same with the buses. It's quick, but
you don't have to. We just hop in the car and we're at the gate. I mean, it takes us longer to walk from our car to the security tent and the screening tent than it does to actually drive there.
Yeah, you might as well drive. So how was the
thing at OQ West you got to really drive decent amount to is either the Magic Kingdom or Animal Kingdom.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. How was the construction? It's been a while since you've been to Walt Disney World.
Yeah, the construction at Epcot, when you get in to get anywhere is like you got to go left or right, and then you're coming out. It's like, okay, now where are we going again?
Yeah,
you got to watch the signs. It's like, okay, park exit. Okay, we kind of wander this way, and they kind of take you all the way around, and you end up at Spaceship Earth at some point, and then you're going like, here's the gates.
Yeah, it is a bit more difficult. I know a year. It's been like this for a year now, because it's been a year since I went, and it was Construction World. Well, not a year since I went, but a year ago this week I went, and it was. I'm looking back at my pictures, and there's a lot of construction walls.
Yeah, we went last March. A year ago, March in 2019. So we were there before all that started.
Yeah. And you kind of lose your bearings a bit because you're used to it being open.
Hey, you think you're going the wrong way, and all of a sudden you end up where you're supposed to be.
Where you want to be. Yeah, that's for sure. So for Epcot, you were planning Tito Italia. Did you do that this day, or you went later?
No, the first day we arrived, we went to Via Napoli.
Oh, okay.
And
you've been there before.
We've been there before, and we like the food there. And we usually end up most of the time we end up just getting the individual pizzas, because we found out if we get a bigger one, it's like trying to get everything everybody wants, and then we either have too much left over or we run out, and it's like just get the 10-inch pizza and
good to go. And
because it was the end of the night, and we've got the villa over at Old Key West. It's like, okay, put the extras in a box. Normally we don't, but we're doing stuff afterwards, and who wants to carry food around? But we did, and so
no kidding. So Epcot was good, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Epcot was good.
Yeah. Other than the construction, did you experience anything new there, or get any special magic?
At Epcot that day, no, not really. I mean, we did the stuff we usually do, and most of and stuff. We got a lot done. I mean, we hit the park for lunch, and then we're there until it closed at 7. And we got a lot. I mean, we got all the World Showcase on it except for Test Track, because Test Track was either busy or it might have shut down because it had rained. That's the other thing on the trip. It rained pretty much almost every day.
That's
half an hour or something. That it went from sprinkling to light rain to pouring to light rain, all like in 20 minutes, half an hour. Almost every day.
That's September for you. I've got enough times.
There was one time, it might have been even that day, that we had. I've got a rain jacket that folds up into its pocket, and saying, by the time I got the thing out of my bag and put it on, it had stopped raining.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Been there, done that.
Oh, it's pouring out. Pull out the rain thing. Pull everything out. It stopped.
Put the little thing back in your pocket and take it off, pack it all up again. So next day, where did you head off to?
We went to the studios the next day.
Oh, okay.
And we did almost everything. I mean, the crowds are such that if you get there when they open up, you can pretty much almost get everything done in that time. We did almost everything at the studio that day except for Slinky Dog, and we didn't do Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad only because we were trying to get into. We did Galaxy's Edge and did Smuggler's Run and tried to get into a boarding group for Rise of the Resistance, and the line for Mickey and Minnie's was just longer than we wanted to wait that day. So we had another day, so we'll just ride it the next day.
Okay.
And
so did you get a boarding pass for
well,
that?
at 10 o'clock, it was gone. And I don't know what I was doing wrong, but at 10 o'clock, when it opened up, it was gone in like 10 seconds.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So I went to a person. I'm going like, is this something working here? Or she's, no, the boarding group's filled. We're all done for 10 o'clock. You have to try again at 2.
Good luck at 2.
Yeah. So I tried again at 2, and we got a backup. I swear when I got it, it told me we had a boarding group. And then like when I checked like an hour later, it said, no, you got a backup boarding group. And they must have been really running at reduced capacity because when they finally told us later in that afternoon that we were actually going to that our backup group had been selected. We were boarding group 96, and they only took 98 boarding groups that day. 98 the entire day.
Oh wow! So you did get to ride it then?
So we did get to ride it. But here's the story.
Okay, what's the story?
We did everything, and we were going like, okay, we're not going to get on. We're not going to get on. And we had a reservation for Mama Melrose's for dinner. We just got seated for dinner, and all of a sudden, your boarding group has been called.
I've heard this.
And we looking around, we all look at each other, and we weren't excited about eating there. And we're going like, let's go. We bailed on dinner. We never ate dinner there.
So did you tell them or?
Yeah, we're going like, yeah, sorry,
they were cool with that or?
Yeah, they were okay.
Okay, that's good.
I mean, it was better than not showing up. I think if you don't show up, they penalize you. If you show up and leave, I don't think they penalize you.
I'm guessing you didn't order yet?
No, we didn't do anything. We just sat down. They were about to give us so we could order, and we're going like, all of a sudden our boarding group got called. And we looked around each other like, what are we going to do?
I think you're like the third person to tell me that they were sat down at Mama Melrose and their boarding group got called. So if you're waiting for your boarding group and it's
that's the place to go.
That's the place to go. Go sit down, then look at your phone.
And then the entire trip, that's the only time we got on. The second day we went to the studios, we never got a boarding group.
Oh, wow.
We didn't even get the second time. And I don't think, even I was talking to some guy who was talking to a cast member about, how the whole boarding thing, and he had gotten group 26, and that group did not, when I was following along, 26 did not get called till sometime in the afternoon.
Wow. I don't know.
They must be really running at reduced capacity.
It runs at reduced capacity. It seems like if there's one thing out of alignment, they don't run. Like they shut it down or something. I know there's a lot of moving parts and all that, but wow, that thing goes down a lot. So what did you think of it?
It was amazing. When we went on it, it was absolutely amazing. It takes you forever to get on it. When you're in the queue, the queue goes on forever. And one of my kids is going like, when are we getting on the ride?
I thought that
we got a boarding group that were going to be just going on the ride right away, and I go, I guess not.
So going through the queue, you have to maintain social distancing, I'm guessing.
Yes.
And do they have like plexiglass set up in between the?
Well, they don't. Plexiglass is on all the rides. The plexiglass is only like if you're in an area and where two groups are passing each other and it's narrow. They try to for the most part, they try to space it out so when you're at the beginning of a turn, the other person is at the other end of the turn. And so you guys pass each other for like brief seconds. And so it's like you're not standing next to each other. Then they may not have plexiglass. But if it's like in Thunder Mountain Railroad, you know, when you hit that. Okay, maybe not. That's right. You don't ride it. There's a part on the right before you board where there's a narrow thing where they got two ways you can go. That's where they got the plexiglass.
Okay.
So they put plexiglass up when you can't avoid being real close to somebody.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was talking to someone from Paris, and they said that there's plexiglass in every queue everywhere. It feels like and it's so tight that
in some of the spots, if you're a
guy, you might not make it through. So okay, it is an amazing.
We rode rides that night. I wish we could have ridden it again. I really wanted to ride it again, but it's amazing.
Now, do you generally park hop?
Sometimes. I mean, we didn't. Obviously,
you can't. You can't anymore.
Sometimes we do. We don't do it a lot. We usually are from like beginning to closing, from rope drop to closing. But sometimes we'll do it. But we usually like to have the park hopping option just in case we want to.
Yeah, I know. Like myself, like I haven't gone since the reopening, but I park hop like crazy, and I don't know if I like the idea of not being able to park hop, because I really enjoy park hopping, especially like Disneyland and California Adventure. I go back and forth all day long.
Right.
Maybe I like going through the security a lot. Maybe that's my problem. I don't know. But okay, yeah. So you don't really. So did you miss park hopping, or didn't phase you?
No, not really.
Yeah. So you do. So you didn't do Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railroad on that day. Where did you go next day?
Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
And did pretty much everything that day. Got it, as I mentioned when in the pre part of it. We finally got a reservation into Be Our Guest, and that was really, really nice. I mean, right now they've got the fixed price thing where it's a 3-course meal, and you just pay. I think it's like $62 a person, and the Beast is now the Beast, instead of having that room where you used to be able to go into, and everybody, he just comes out into the dining rooms and, you know, kind of waves and
walks around,
bows to everybody, and kind of wanders around the area just a little bit, stays away from everybody, and stays, you know, you can get pictures of him or selfies with him if you want. But
I like that better. I think I like that better. I never stood in line to get the Beast photo, because I don't want to stand in line to get the Beast photo. But I would rather him come around and like, hey, there you go.
Actually, the character stuff at the meals was actually pretty good. The only problem that I had was that like on the first day we went to Garden Grill for lunch, and they had the Mickey and Chip and Dale and Pluto, but the way they did it that way is in the upper ring that's by the kitchen. That's where they wandered around, and they had everybody sitting down in the part on the bottom.
Oh, so they're kind of looking
had to turn around and see them, and they're kind of there. And I'm so used to, like, with our kids, it's like, even as I've grown up, my daughter just loves getting pictures with the characters. So I'm used to like sitting in the middle of the table and them sitting on the end. And then I realized after the first character showed up that I couldn't see anybody because they were behind me.
Oh, okay.
So we had to all move, and later I'll tell you about when we went to Topolino. Was the way they did it there was great. So and the character thing with Beast at Be Our Guest was, I thought that was. Then everybody gets to see him, and everybody gets to. I think it works out almost better.
Yeah. Was Be Our Guest worth it, you feel?
Yeah. I mean, the food was good. I had what did I have? I think I had the pork tenderloin.
Oh, nice.
And that was good. And this is kind of like where we kind of had a magical. Every once in a while, my daughter is real sensitive to spice and foods. It's like there's a little bit of spice, she just can't handle it if it's too hot. And so she got the vegetable tortellini.
Ooh, what do you have in your?
Huh?
She goes, oh my gosh, what's in here? Black pepper?
It was a little bit spicy. She didn't realize how spicy it was, and the manager had me wandering by, and she goes, well, how's everything? And my daughter's kind of like uncomfortable, and she says, there's something wrong with the food. She says, well, it's a little spicier than I was anticipating. And they just basically said, well, fine, give it back to us. What would you like? Even if it's not on the menu, what would you like? And she gave them something, and they brought her another dish.
That is awesome. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And it's like, because she's sitting there going like, oh no, we spent all this money on this food, and I really don't like it because it's too spicy. And they're going like, no problem.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That is beautiful. I love hearing that for sure. Anything else at the Magic Kingdom?
No, I mean,
Were the crowds what you expected at Magic Kingdom, or were
when
there
you
more?
go in the when you go in the morning, the crowds are like not almost. The Magic Kingdom was less than I'm used to, about what I was expecting. Epcot the day and the studios. Studios is always hard to gauge because studios is so small anyway that a few people can make it seem crowded.
Yeah, there's very narrow spots. Studios.
And so studios seemed to have more people than I was expecting.
Mm-hmm. Someone said to me, they said they can reduce capacity all they want, but if everybody's hanging out in Fantasyland, that's a lot of people.
Right. And even at the Magic Kingdom later in the day, of all the lands, Fantasyland was probably the most crowded.
That's what someone else has told me, that they feel like
it's not as crowded as a busy day there, but it's more people than you'd think would be there based on how many people are.
Yeah, that's what I've kind of been hearing. Where were you the next day, day 3?
That would have been day 3. Day 4 would have been, we went to the Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
And Animal Kingdom was good. We were pretty much done with Animal Kingdom by 3:00.
Oh, wow. You did Avatar,
Yeah, we did Avatar. We did Everest twice.
Yeah.
We did everything there. We even paid homage to Primeval World. My oldest and I went down there and went by there and said goodbye. It's not running. We're going like, oh, well, it's been nice.
Fans of Primeval World?
It was okay. I mean, we do it every time. I mean, you get bounced around in there and everything like that, but it was something we usually went on. But it was like, okay, let's say goodbye.
Never done it. So I'm not worried about it. If it goes away, you think it's going to go away?
I think they actually said it's going away.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's reopening. What they're going to do over there, I don't know.
Yeah, they got to do something with that whole Chester and Hester's area. It's a great area. The theming there is amazing. Like when you stop and look at the theming, that's my favorite part about that area is the theming area. But there's nothing really to do there.
The carnival. Yes, basically we would go on Dinosaur and Primeval World and then move.
Yeah.
There's that rides and we're done.
Stop to spin. There's nothing really there to do. But the theming is really nice.
Yeah.
Was the next day an off day?
No, the next day we went back to Epcot. That would have been Saturday the 12th.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether they've increased capacity or whether the capacity is actually being reached, but it was very crowded in World Showcase that day. They got this hybrid food and wine thing going on, and World Showcase was crowded. Every kiosk had a 15-20 minute line in it just to get the little things for food.
Wow.
And so
are you a fan of the $15 samples?
Well, we wanted to, but we weren't going to stand in line.
Yeah.
That for them. It was like, okay, we'll try them, and I'm like,
it's a long.
I don't want to wait that long for it.
Yeah. Did you go to the Canadian movie, the 360 movie? Because that's new since you've been.
No, we missed it. We were going to. We never made it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why we were going to go. We usually go to it, and for some reason we just never
got around to it. Yeah, because that would have been that's the new movie now. Martin Short's gone, and it's Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara now.
I would have wanted to. I totally forgot about it.
Well, something to look forward to next trip.
Yeah,
or not. It's not.
But we ate lunch. We ate lunch at Regal Eagle.
Oh,
barbecue.
Okay. How was that?
I had the brisket sandwich, and I like barbecue. It was nice. My wife had the what did she have? I don't remember what she had, but what she had was everything that everybody had was they enjoyed it.
That's good. Now, did you have to look for the Muppet theming, or was it obvious?
You had to look for it a little bit. There wasn't a whole lot of it there. I mean, it was kind of in the signage and in the posters and the things around there. So if you looked at the stuff, you could see it, but it wasn't like, other than on the Regal Eagle sign, there's Sam Eagle sitting on that. Other than that, it wasn't. Yeah. In your face.
Yeah, it wasn't like a Muppet restaurant.
No, it wasn't a Muppet restaurant, but it was. I mean, that restaurant seriously needed help because unless you were looking for hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff like that. That's pretty much what it was, and it was like pretty much everybody just. You could always find a place to sit there before because nobody ate there.
So does it warrant going back to?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, oh, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Because I'm excited to try that place. That's opened after I've been. I really want to try that one out. That's something. I wish you'd have more Muppet stuff. Those signs, a couple little thingies. When did you? What did you do for dinner there?
Then that's the night we went to Tutto Italia.
Okay, so that's new for you.
Yeah, we had not been there. I don't know if we've ever been to Tutto Italia. We had been there when it was Alfredo's. That goes back a ways. I can't remember whether we've ever been to Tutto Italia. There weren't a lot of people there. I mean, they're spacing out the tables. We had a reservation at, I think, 10 to 7. We got there about a little bit early, and what we had, the food was great, but they're just notoriously slow and everything. It's like they're methodical in, not slow in a bad way, but they're just methodical. They give you plenty of time to eat. They don't rush you. And by the time we got out of there, it was 8 o'clock. After 8:30.
Oh wow! Doesn't the park close at 7?
Yeah, we're walking out of there, and that's part of the problem with disorienting yourself and getting disoriented when you're leaving. Is if you're out of, you can't even follow the crowd.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because you're just kind of going like, I think I go this way.
Every
once in a while you walk into a cast member, it's like, yeah, this way's the exit.
I was going to say, because I stayed really late at Epcot one time, and they were cleaning the streets at night, and I go, hey, you know we're closed, eh? The guy says to me, we didn't say hey, but you know we're closed, right? Like, yeah, we're leaving.
No, but the food at Tutto Italia it was good. I mean, there were no complaints of anything we ate there. I mean, I think I had the salmon there, and even one of my son who was like, you know, I like to term as a steak aficionado. If there's steak on a menu, that's what he's ordering.
Yeah.
So, even at an Italian restaurant, it's fine. You know, or a seafood restaurant, he'll order steak.
But nothing wrong with that.
But the food was very good there. So
that's good. Did you notice they have those new, I don't know if they're plexiglass or those big towers that they had put up? Did you?
Yes.
Happen to notice them?
Oh, the thing at Spaceship Earth.
Yeah.
They still got the wall around us, so you can see the stuff peeking up over the top of the wall. But it was like my daughter and I. It was like our hearts were going like, oh, finally it's back.
Yeah. No kidding.
Even though we only can see the top of it, it's like, oh, thank you.
Someday we'll be able to see the whole thing. Oh, that's great. So, where was your next stay?
Next day was back to the studios.
Okay.
And that's when we did Mickey's. We got actually on Mickey. We just decided, however long the wait for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad was going to be at the beginning of the day, we were just going to wait.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of the day and parts of the day, it's easily an hour, or they say it's an hour. I think the first time we went on it, they said the wait was 70 minutes. We got in and off of it under an hour. So even when I said it was 70 minutes, the ride. So but from the time we got in line until we got off was, I think, 58 minutes. We actually kind of going like, okay, let's see if it's really 70 minutes.
Yeah.
And, it's amazing. It's really a fun ride. So yeah, we went on that, and we actually went again later in the day, and so. So were you a fan of the Great Movie Ride? Yes, we were. I would have loved to have seen it redone but I can see why they did it. They were having licensing issues, I imagine. That and the fact that most people had no idea where any of those movies came from. Well, you and I did, but even. I mean, a lot of people are going like, "Oh, that's nice." Jimmy Cagney, who's he? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, where they know Mickey Mouse and they know Minnie Mouse and they know Goofy. So we had actually gone. My wife and I made a short trip the weekend that they closed it, and we're on the weekend the last weekend that and Universe of Energy were running. So So do you think we got to say goodbye? Do you think that Mickey Minnie Runaway is a decent replacement, or would you have rather had Great Movie Ride still? It's a decent replacement. It's a fun attraction. Okay. I mean, it's fun. Because I loved Great Movie Ride. I love that one so much. I still miss Great Movie Ride, but it's a fun attraction. It's a decent replacement. That's good. So when did you go to Disney Springs? The day before we left, on the 15th. Okay. And that's the day we ate breakfast at Tutto Italia, and the food there was great. The character interaction is like, they do this thing where they do Minnie Mouse, and then they do Mickey, and then they all at intervals, and they just kind of stand and they pose and they kind of dance around, and they got their painters Yes.
Like they're doing artwork and sculpting
Right.
and stuff. Yeah.
And it was, I thought the way they did that way you're not waiting for people. They do it on a regular interval because notorious. We'd go to these character breakfast meals, and there's like one character we're done eating, and there's one character we haven't seen, and it's like, do we hang around? Do we wait? How bad do we want to see whatever one we haven't seen yet? And it's like, okay, let's wait or not wait. This. And they had, my wife and I both had the sour cream waffles.
Ooh.
And actually, my wife was thinking about having something else, but the server goes, "You've got it. If you want a suggestion, try the sour cream waffles. They're awesome." And she was right. And they were really good.
So there you go. That's something to try for the people that are listening.
And then we went to Disney Springs that day. We did a Boathouse for lunch.
Oh, nice.
And that was worth. I could have stayed there all day. I mean, I could have as much. I mean, they're playing all this classic rock music, and they're doing all this stuff, and the server was great. And
it's a huge place. Like you think like there's a lot of seats in there.
Yeah, there are. And
that really surprised me. How big it was. And did you eat inside or outside?
Inside.
Okay, yeah, because they have extra seating outside on top of that too.
I mean, Disney Springs was probably the least busy place of anything that we went to.
Really? Wow.
But we were going to. I mean, it probably got busier later in the day. I mean, in the afternoon it was a little bit busier than it was earlier in the day. But you get there at 10 o'clock in the morning, and there's like hardly anybody there. Yeah. I don't think some of the stores opened up until noon.
Yeah.
Or 11 o'clock. Even though they say they're open up at 10, there were stores in the afternoon we were wandering around that weren't open when we got there.
Oh, okay. Did you go to World of Disney, and did you have to wait at all?
No, we did not have to wait. We got into World of Disney. We went to the Lego store. The World of Disney doesn't seem to... I know it's the same building, but it didn't seem as big. Maybe because the rooms aren't separated anymore and it's all kind of opened up. It didn't seem as big as it was before, but I know it is.
Like the last time I went, they had it seems like there's a lot more space.
Yes,
like they have like small fixtures spread apart. Like I know exactly what you mean. I felt that same way the last time I went in January after the remodel.
I mean, it's the same building and it's probably the same square footage that it was before, but it just seemed smaller.
Yeah, it feels like there's less stuff in there.
Yeah. Well, I think it was because we typically even when we go to downtown Disney before, it was like we'd go to downtown Disney towards the end of the trip to pick up the stuff that we didn't pick up in the park, and a lot of the stuff that they had in the World of Disney was a lot of the same stuff they had in the parks with a few other things. It didn't have as much unique stuff there that you couldn't have gotten it like at the Emporium or so that was a little bit disappointing.
Yeah.
We did go to Once Upon a Toy. That was majorly underwhelming.
Once Upon a Toy. Can you refresh my?
That's a toy store that was just as your face is closer to the bus stops. It's between the bus stops and World of Disney.
Okay.
And what I had forgotten was that they had sealed off the back half of the store. That's where the void was. Okay. So the store is half as big as it was before. And they really didn't have much in there. We walked in there, and it's like, oh, well, there's really nothing here. Okay, I guess we'll just walk around, take a quick look, and okay, we're out.
Out we go. I find out with so many of the stores at Disney Springs, though, those stores are just not meant for me at Disney Springs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the Lego store. I like World of Disney. I like the Marvel store and the Star Wars store. I'm a kid at heart, I guess.
That's pretty much the store.
I like the art store.
We just kind of wandered around, just kind of sat around because we knew we had. I mean, ideally, if we hadn't had dinner at Disney Springs, we probably would have left in the middle of the afternoon. But we had dinner, and right. I didn't want to drive all the way back to Key West and then drive all the way back to eat dinner. And we really wanted to eat at Chef Art Smith's, so it's like, okay, we'll just kind of like wander around, we'll sit, and we'll just kind of people watch, and we'll just kind of sit around and relax and chill. And
yeah, it's nice to have a relaxing day, though.
Yeah.
So how was Chef Art Smith's?
Oh, that was almost as good as it's probably equally as good as the Boathouse.
Wow.
Okay. A couple of the people in my family had the fried chicken. I had the barbecue burger or barbecue sandwich, pork barbecue sandwich, and that was good. Yeah, everything was good there. I mean, there were 5 of us, and the booths are massive. They're going like, oh, okay, we can get you in. We'll put you at a booth. And they're going like, can people get all 5 of us in a booth? Oh yeah, and we got in there, and these booths were just like gigantic. And
nice.
And it was, and they had that had plexiglass galore. They had plexiglass on either side, on the back and in front of you on the booth, and then the booths then the tables that were on the other side of the thing. So it's like they had. I mean, that place was pretty busy that night, but they had everything. You weren't near anybody.
Nice.
So, yeah, that was really
like
good.
The cone of silence on Get Smart.
Pretty much.
It would come down around you while you eat. That's the future. Every table's going to have its own cone of silence.
I mean, the food was so good in most of the places. We didn't eat a lot of dessert, but when I looked at the menu, I'm going like, I am having the pecan pie, the chocolate pecan pie. It's like, I don't care. We are eating it. We ate it, and it was really, really good there.
Oh, that's cool. I guess we hit all your new dining spots. Was there anything magical that happened on your trip that was unexpected other than the extra meal at Be Our Guest?
Nothing extraordinary. I mean, for some reason, I mean, I really liked in all the parks their character cavalcades. They had those, okay. Except for some reason, I don't know how we missed it, but when we were at Epcot the 2 days, we never saw anybody. I don't know how we missed them all, but we never saw a character cavalcade at Epcot. But the one at Animal Kingdom was a little bit odd because it was on the river. Mm-hmm. So it's like you kind of had to be in spots to see it because there's spots where you can see them coming by, but you can't really see them because there's trees in the way. And but the ones at the Magic Kingdom were fun. And I almost like them better than having a parade because they'll do these things and it's like you don't have to be you're not sitting around waiting, and they just happen and they're short and they do them often enough that you're gonna get one sooner or later. But except for Epcot, I guess I don't know. It could have been the weather too. I mean, we got there. The Epcot days were the days where it rained longer, so they might have just not been doing them because of the rain.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'm not even sure.
The World Showcase with the number of people they had on that Saturday because of the food and wine thing, I don't know how they would have gotten anything through there.
Well, that's why they don't have a parade anymore at Epcot because it just got to be too many people.
Yeah.
Like from years back. How about like the character? Like I've seen pictures with Winnie the Pooh in the UK or something like that, and I've seen.
We didn't see any of that.
Or Mickey and Minnie.
But the one thing that they did, the one thing that occupied a decent amount of our time as we were leaving is they have a hidden Remy at all the World Showcase pavilions. Yep. So you have to go around and you got to find Remy where he's hidden on like a balcony or something like that. Mm-hmm. So that was fun. And
did you play the game where you get the little free gift at all? Or
no, we didn't do that. We just were looking for him. After we stumbled upon him in Mexico and was like, oh yeah, that's right. He's in every country. So every time we went to a country, it's like, okay, where's Remy?
Oh, that's neat. I was there during the hurricane. They were preparing for the hurricane, and they took all the Remys and they put them inside all the buildings. So they was still going on where you could find them, but you had to go inside to find the Remys.
The only one that was still inside that we found was the one in Mexico. Everybody else was outside.
Okay, yeah, because they always have the Remys all over the place, but you have to. Yeah, it was kind of neat. So in the Canadian pavilion, they had them up in the rafters in the store. Was where Remy was hiding because they wanted to protect him from getting blown away, I guess.
Yeah, some of them were kind of hard to find. Like the one in Canada is like way back there. It's way it's way in the back on top of it. So I think it's like so
on the waterfall.
Well, you're almost to the waterfall. He's on one of the shops as you're getting towards the waterfall. You're past the theater and.
Yeah. I always take pictures of them whenever I see them. Do you do that?
Yep.
Yeah. I always try to get a good picture of Remy. That's pretty neat. Did you miss not having fireworks at all? I didn't even notice that there was no fireworks.
Yeah, it was a little odd at Epcot not having something there. Really didn't miss anything at the studios. I was never a big fan of Rivers of Light at Animal Kingdom, so it wasn't anything there.
I didn't say that.
I kind of miss not seeing Happily Ever After or something at the Magic Kingdom, but it was okay.
How do you know when to go home if there's no fireworks?
Well, we had reservations except for Animal Kingdom. We had reservations at pretty close to park closing, so we'd walk out of there and there's nobody around. And it's like, well, yeah, it's time to go home. There's somebody here.
Where'd everybody go? Did you get some good empty pictures in at least?
Some. Yeah. At Epcot, it's like we ate at Tutto Italia, so we're walking practically all the way around. It's like I got pictures of China and Germany and Italy with nobody there, and it's not too dark, and it's like
okay. How about I forgot to ask you when we came back from the break. Edible masks. Did you see those at all?
There were some if you knew who to ask. You had to be careful. You had to be careful with them because you had to have a spare. You actually had to have a mask because if you devoured your mask, they would kick you out. It's like,
I'm sorry, Mrs. Cast member. I did have one, but I ate it.
I had one when I came here. I'm sorry.
I ate it. I'm sorry.
I ate it.
I like the blue milk version at Galaxy's Edge. That's the only place you can get that one. At Galaxy's Edge. Look for it.
Yeah.
Ask around. Next time you're there, ask for the blue milk.
Okay.
Edible mask. Well, I want to thank you for coming on. This was a blast. I love hearing people's stories and adventures of their trips. It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, we had really a good time. It was like I said, the only thing we were a little bit shocked about was the number of people that were at Epcot that Saturday. And if I'd realized when I did it, we arranged where we were going, I probably wouldn't have done Epcot on a weekend, on a Friday or Saturday. I would probably done it on a Sunday or a weekday for the second day, because I forgot. It's like, oh, right, food and wine, locals. Yeah, okay.
But you would think if they're only allowing so many people in, that wouldn't be a problem. But like on a normal, everyday life world, you never book a Friday or Saturday at Epcot as a family outing,
right,
during food and wine. Like, that's just, don't do that.
Yeah, I figured, well, okay, it won't be that crowded. It won't be that. And I'm going like, oh, yeah. It seemed almost like a regular week, a regular day at Epcot.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So that was...
Oh, well, that is good. Well, yeah, thank you for coming on. Do you have another trip planned, or what are your...
No, not yet. No, I don't. I mean, we'll probably do something next year, but we're still in the process of putting stuff away and unpacking. We got back Thursday, so that was part of the... So that was... we're still trying to recoup from unpacking and all that.
It's hard to plan ahead now, because you don't really know what 6 months is going to be like, or 9 months, a year is going to be like, especially when you can't even leave the country yet.
And this trip we actually had planned twice.
Yes,
we had planned it. We had planned it and everything before they shut down the parks for July. And then when they redid everything, we changed the trip from July to September, and we had to plan all over again.
Yeah. And then they weren't going to be all open then.
This trip twice.
Yeah, no kidding. Anyways, well, thanks for coming on, Ray.
Thank you.
This was a blast. Any final thoughts?
No, I don't. I think it's if you're okay with, I mean, Disney is if you're concerned at all about going down now, it's the safest place to be. And if you can if you're comfortable with some of the less things, like the restaurants their menus weren't as extensive as they usually are, so they cut a lot of their options down. A lot of the restaurants had like 4 or 5 things that you could order from, and at least in the park, and or half a dozen. Their menus weren't as extensive. But if you're willing to put up with the masks and everything else, and you want to go down, you're comfortable with it, I'd say go.
Yeah.
I mean, even at a lot of thing where people were worried about, wearing the mask and getting screened with the temperature thing. The day we went to downtown, the Disney Springs, got screened going in. We had bought some stuff, so I decided to take it back to the car. So at about 2:00 in the afternoon or so, I walked it back to the car. And of course, I had to get screened back in. And I asked the guy when he gave my temperature, screaming, I said, what was my temperature at 2:00 after walking around all day? And I had a hat on, but still. And I was 1 degree warmer than I was when I left our hotel in the morning.
Oh, wow.
I'm going like, okay. All of a sudden, everybody worried. It was like, okay, it's too hot. Everybody's going to be too hot. Nobody's going to be able to get in. It's like, that's not happening.
That's not happening.
So,
excellent.
But we had a good time.
Really good. Good. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. Be sure to like and share to your friends if you enjoyed this show. And I want everybody to be safe and be friendly. Thank you very much. And take it away, Ken.
If you have a brilliant idea for a future edition of The Solo Show and would like to take your turn in the guest host's chair, then drop us an email at thesoloshow01@gmail.com. Tell us your idea for the show, and we'll contact you about a date and a time for you to join us. If you would just like to keep the conversation going or have a comment about a previous show, then visit us on Facebook at The Solo Show. All logos, sounds, and songs that are made by and for Disney and its affiliates are owned solely by the Disney Corporation and are not, nor are they intended to be, the ownership of The Solo Show podcast. We hope you'll join us for the next adventure on The Solo Show. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.